The Pretty Boys Pocket Pistol, one of Scout's side grades. Should you use the Pretty Boys Pocket Pistol? Why or why not? And is it any better than stock, or is it a true side grade? Compared to stock, the Pretty Boys Pocket Pistol fires 15% faster, has 3 less loaded bullets, and it also heals you 3 health per hit. Now, the description says up to 3 health, but it seems to not matter what range you're at. So let's go really far away. I'm still gaining 3 health. So the minimum damage this thing can deal is 8. And I'm still gaining 3 health despite that. Now, it is 100% accurate on the first shot, like with most automatic weapons, and it resets every 1.25 seconds. This is also true of stock pistol. So if you want to like accurately poke something, you can basically shoot, let the reload animation play, and accurately poke things for 8. Alternatively, you can just unload a clip and hope some hit at far range, and maybe you'll get a kill. So, okay. So what's the point of this weapon? It fires faster, it has 3 less shots, it heals you, great. But why would you use this over stock? Or when should you use stock over this? I would say you should use this over stock if you're not getting healed constantly by medics, there's not a lot of health packs, or those health packs are constantly being taken, which can happen just from your teammates simply getting them before you. Or in a situation where you're going to be flanking and you're not going to be near medics or healing sources or dispensers, and you need as much health as you can get, and you want to leverage to the health packs on the map as well as improve your survivability when moving around the map. Now, compared to stock, the most this thing can deal is 198 damage. Now that matters because if you're fighting a soldier who's at full HP, you cannot kill him. Now, I did 197 there because he got a little bit further away, and I started to experience damage fall off, but the minimum damage is 8, the maximum damage is 22, same as stock. So now that we know the maximum damage we can output is 198, what can we kill? So anything that isn't overhealed, or that is overhealed that has less than 198 health. So we can easily kill a sniper, we can kill a pyro, we can kill a demo, and of course we can kill a medic. Now this is important because if you're going on like a rampage and you want to kill a bunch of things and you don't know how much damage you have, or you don't know how much damage you have to work with, that can be a problem because you might go to try to pistol down a soldier and only to realize that he's going to have 2 health and probably kill you. Now, if he self-damages, he could suicide on you, and that'll still work out. Or if he rocket jumped earlier and he's missing some health, you can still kill a soldier. So as long as he's not overhealed, chances are you'll be able to kill him. Soldiers are rocket jumping all the time, even with gunboats. So even if he rocket jumped, into a position with gunboats, he's probably going to be at like 190, 180 HP. So usually you can take out any class except for heavy that isn't overhealed with a single clip. Now this is important because if you're in a 1v1, shooting faster does matter, and generally speaking, the time to kill on pocket pistol versus stock is roughly 1/10 of a second faster. Now in a game like TF2, 1/10 of a second is a lot of time. 1/10 of a second is usually the difference between missing a reflect or not, between, like landing some huntsman headshot on a dude who's like strafing. Like fractions of a second matter in this game because you can die that fast. So the fact is you can kill faster, but you have less damage to work with. Now, let's talk about survivability, because this is the main reason to use this thing. If you are fighting something at medium range, like let's say this is a really good soldier that you can't like push him because he'll like air shot you or whatever. He's used to your games. He knows let's say he's either at your skill level or better than you, and he's gonna mess you up at close range. What you can do is harass him while healing yourself. So if he hits you with spam, you're healing it away. And if he's not being healed, you can just pistol him down from range and then go for chip shots if you want. But the important thing is you can duel things at like medium-ish range, and as long as it's not a demo shooting pipes at you, which will always deal 100 damage, you can reduce the damage taken by offsetting it with healing. And each clip heals you up to 27 HP. So let's say there's a revved heavy like firing at your team over here. You can just use this dude as a health sponge while also dealing pretty good chip damage. Like I've straight up killed heavies from this range just spamming them down with the pistol and then going for like chip shots. It's pretty effective, and it can also be good against like soldiers, to some degree demos. If they're good with pipes, they can be dangerous still, so you have to watch out. For demos, You're usually better off just like getting in, as I just completely whiff a shot there, but you're usually better off getting in and like ambushing them. Let's say you need to escape through here and there's a bunch of enemies and your team is in a team fight. You could go for kills and maybe someone turns around and kills you immediately, or you could like shoot like a distant target and then try to escape while healing. That's something that I like to do. It basically allows you to convert ammo boxes into health. And what I've found in TF2 is it's easier to get ammo than health because they're dead, you know, allies and enemies, which means there's ammo boxes. More than likely health kits are taken, but ammo isn't. Some players will intentionally leave ammo for engineers. So very often if you're like, you know, low on health and there's no health kits around because your team keeps taking them, you can just find some ammo boxes and just start converting that into health. The other thing this is really good at is aim punching snipers. So let's say there's a sniper who's pretty good. Obviously, you should always flank a sniper if you can, but let's say you can't. There have been instances where there have been really good snipers, and I'll just like do this to them. I'll just like try to like dodge and be annoying and just keep pistoling them from far away. The nice thing about this is, let's say there's like heavy shooting at you or like things like other hit scan hitting you across the map. You're basically like healing yourself while you're spamming them down. So it lets you kind of operate as like an independent agent that doesn't need as much heals from your team, which also removes pressure from your medic to heal you, because at any point in time you can take out your secondary and just start healing yourself by shooting. The other thing that's really nice about this is if you're on fire and you're about to die, let's say you're at like 50 health and you're on fire and you will die from afterburn, you can just start pistoling enemies, and as long as you don't take more damage, you can usually get out, and the pistol healing is enough to survive, especially long enough to find a health pack, because as long as you get over the kill threshold of that fire damage, you will survive. Now, you can, of course, use Mad Milk, but that's on a long cooldown, so this is more readily available. So it can be good at fighting pyros, even if you just do something like this. So let's see how much health I can get just by like shooting into these enemies. All right, so I got like maybe 15 health there. That could be the difference between having enough health to get a health pack. Like, it legitimately can. It's been the case for me every time I'm on scout and I like catch, you know, get caught on fire by like a flare or something or a scorch shot. I'll pistol as I'm retreating. The other thing too you can do is, like, if the enemy's distracted, just like pistol it, just like dump a whole clip into it, get yourself 20 HP. That gives you some time. Or if you can sustain, like while you're burning, just keep like pistoling. Like if they're distracted, if you can find weird angles, that can help. All right, so is this better than stock? I don't think so. I think it's about as good as stock, and it depends on the situation. If you're always getting healed, or if you're in a competitive setting, I would say this is worse than stock. So I don't think it's overpowered. I think it's just really good. If you're already getting healed, I think stock is better because you have 264 damage to work with per clip, and the difference in unloading those clips is about like 0.1 second, so like a tenth of a second. And there is one thing to note: this weapon has a slightly longer reload time than stock by 0.1 second. So funny enough, if you just keep like shooting through both, it's about the same fire rate. So in conclusion, I would say the Pretty Boys Pocket Pistol is a fantastic side grade to stock. It can help you win 1v1s through the healing and through the faster damage output, assuming you are accurate. Now, it can also just be used to heal you at range, especially when retreating or when enemies are distracted. Let's say they're like looking over here fighting something, you can get some free shots off, get some healing off of that. That can be pretty good. That alone can be enough to sustain you on flanks, especially when health sources are scarce. Now, if you have a constant medic that's always healing you and all of your teammates, stock, I would say, is better because you have more damage to work with. Ultimately, the difference in time to kill between stock pistol and pocket pistol is a tenth of a second, which may or may not matter. So depending on how you play, depending on how accurate you are, like if you're really good at meat shotting, you probably don't even need to be relying on your pistol much to begin with. So you're probably better off just running stock or whatever you feel like. But it's a pretty good side grade. The healing is nice. It can help you for when you're on fire, for when you want to play flank scout, for when healing sources are scarce, or for when you want to tip the skills in your favor of 1v1s when you're 1v1ing other scouts, because you can heal yourself a little bit. And I've lost in one scout fights by, 5 points of health, 10 points of health. So healing yourself while shooting faster could be the difference between winning, 1v1s, even with other classes. And the healing is not to be discounted, even though it's 27 health per clip. you get that health relatively fast, and you have more than one clip. So you can basically heal yourself to full if you're just consistently shooting a big target or something that's not paying attention to you. And that can be very valuable in Scout. So that's it for this one. Definitely like and subscribe if you enjoyed this or found this useful. I will be doing other videos where I'm actually like playing the game and not just like shooting bots. But yeah, thanks for checking this out. Peace.